That's great.
And holy crap, but sorry for the late start.
Kellogg's
This
brought.
has been quite a catastrophe setting up. But I promised you we are back with the newest episode of Me to Burn. Today we'll be talking about Community Effort Orlando 2014, which is going to be taking place next week. This is why I have my special guest here. You may know him as Google My Name, Mr. SF4 Balrog here. But
nobody calls me that anymore.
really, but
Yeah.
everybody now knows you as the event organizer, CEO Jebailey. So how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great now. The show's finally working.
Technical difficulties.
I'm doing great, man. Thank you. I'm actually starting to get excited for CO next week. Everyone else stresses out, man, but I want it to happen. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just worried about my back issues and being able to survive it. But the adrenaline will get me through it.
Well, I think everybody's getting excited for CEO. I mean, it's basically the start of summer. You know, we're all getting ready. You know, the countdown. It's going to be a tremendous launch for Ultra. Everyone's going to be trying out their new characters. I think it's going to be, something big.
Yeah, it's gonna be the first. Was it the first actual tournament, if you want to say it like that, for Ultra Street Fighter 4?
I think the first major, isn't it?
Well, in America, Singapore has their big event this weekend, which is going to be pretty cool because you're going to get to see all the Asians play. Mm-hmm. So, is that politically correct? The Asians? Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
international superstars, if you will.
Yeah. Man, that is so good, Bobby. You should be president.
That's good.
But hey, so how's registration looking like for all the games?
I'm about to add number 668. So, which is a little. Last year we ended at 650, right when online registration ended. Then we had 300 people sign up at the door.
Wow.
So we're passing the numbers. Marvel's way down. Injustice is way down.
Oh, come on,
but fortunately,
guys.
I'm hosting Smash, and that pays the bills now, so I'm set.
Well, that's good. So, I mean, considering, you've done CEO for so many years now, I mean, how do you like to try to start your preparations for such a massive tournament?
I mean, I never really end after the other one. I right away sign the hotel contract if the event's a success. Last year, the second day, I'm let's sign it. And the hotel was actually right before it opened up. We met for breakfast and I signed the contract for this year. So I'm always planning. Every year I try new ideas. This year I'm doing an artist alley. So I reached out to a lot of local artists and I told them this event might not be like an anime con where you have 5,000 people walking through, but let me help promote you and, talk about it. So, and they're that's the first time any events ever really promoted us, because they usually just sell them a table and then go, here's your area, sell your shit, so I'm a promoter. I like to help. I think personally, and it should be everyone's motto in any kind of event business, when you make everyone else money, you end up doing well for yourself. So I always like to make sure everyone, puts in hard work, gets what they deserve. And just prepping wise, I mean, I have so many people that help behind the scenes. Rick, who's taking over UFGT with a combo breaker, he designs everything you see. The belts are his designs. I give him ideas for a few things, but I mean, the banners you're going to see, the ring, everything, pretty much he does it on his own.
Oh, the shirts even for the Teespring thing that you guys did.
Even the shirts were designed by Rick. Well, yeah, we had an artist draw it up, but Rick really put the final touches on it.
Right.
And that was a long process, but well worth it. And it meant the world to me that Capcom was so helpful in planning it. And
those T-shirts are fabulous. I saw those.
It
That's
worked
great.
And without going into too much detail about the deal with Capcom, but I remember when we had the design finalized, we would send it for approval, and they would spit back you forgot this, and it was crazy because looking at the art, you're man, that's amazing, but one little wrong thing that isn't accurate to the character, you have to fix it.
Right.
And there was just so many little things I would never have caught. But they loved it. The artist who drew it, Ono himself, is I would love to have his contact information. So I may have gotten that guy a job with Capcom now.
That's great.
So Rick does all the designing. I do all the gathering the sponsorships. I do all that stuff. As soon as Rick finishes badge design, I order it myself. So everything goes through me, ordering wise. So right now the preparation period is just wait on everyone to register. As soon as that timer hits on Sunday night, I work with Curly W that does UFGT's brackets to get him all the information. Then we're going to work on the brackets Monday, Tuesday night. Then by Wednesday, that should be all finalized. And then Thursday is the setup day where I have so many great volunteers. I'll have like maybe 50 people show up just to help set up everything.
Yeah.
So it's I used to stress. I think the first year was literally all me. I ran the brackets myself. I was all over the place. I'm still all over the place, but now I can delegate and trust people to do more jobs, which is it's the greatest feeling now that I can actually trust others to do stuff for me. But a lot of the preparing I like to do myself because I know I would rather not do something or tell somebody else to do it and then wonder if it's going to get done all the way till the day of the event. So
Now, how
that's why I
many
like
years has it been that you've been doing CEO?
this will be the 5th year at CEO
That's great.
of the official CEO. I've been running tournaments for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So just small ones. But yeah, the first CEO is a mistake, as everyone knows the story probably by now. And then, what you call it? So yeah, 5th year and just keeps getting bigger. And
Good for you.
my
So
proudest accomplishment, like, oh, go ahead.
No, so you mentioned that, since even though this is your 5th year, you've been actually helping running tournaments for about, more about a decade. So what sparked the first idea in your mind to say, you know what, maybe I want to do this on my own?
You mean for CEO or just in general, the tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, like just make your own major, like hosted here in Orlando, Florida. Like, what sparked that?
Well, before like CEO, what sparked me wanting to run tournaments is there really wasn't anybody doing them,
Mm.
and I kind of liked winning tournaments. And I'm like, well, if nobody's gonna run them, let me talk to people and we'll run it together. That way, I can compete in more tournaments. So I did it mostly because of my love of just playing people, and that was with CVS2 and such.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few people from my college days. We had a video game club and we hosted the events. They had to be free because they were on the campus. But Street Fighter 4 came out and a lot of the old school guys weren't really into it, but they were still in touch with each other on when shuriken forums were still like the thing to do.
Right.
And this was like 2008, 2007, 2008, and it came out, and I remember just seeing a post from somebody like hosting a Street Fighter 4 tournament come out. Guys I never met. They were hosting Smash still when Smash was still doing well, and I went, and it was only 14 people. I ended up winning it. And the guy just asked me, he's like, hey, do you know people that play? Would you like to help us run the next one? It's like, yeah, sure. So like 3 months later, I ended up, I was
Working with them.
yeah, I was like, get the band back together. I reached out to everybody. I got flyers at a few local game stores, and we ended up with 90 people.
Nice.
And crazy story about that was I didn't have a set system it was on. So I had people sign up and choose either Xbox or PS3. And literally, it was like 4-1 were for Xbox. But what I did was, if two people on opposite systems, I had them flip a coin, and whoever won the coin toss would play on their system. And we provided sticks for both systems.
Huh.
So honestly, out of all those matches in 90-man tournament, there was maybe 2 instances where it was a big deal and a problem. But the guy sucked it up or whatever and ended up winning anyways, I think.
Mm.
And that's how I stuck to Xbox while everyone else was still doing PS3. Because again, I'm a player first and foremost, and I know when a system is not right for a game. And when I would play Street Fighter on PS3 compared to, I'm like, man, it just doesn't feel natural. So I always stuck to Xbox ever since that day, and then glad to see everyone else is doing it now too. So
Definitely.
but the spark wise doing it on my own was after that tournament. I was like, I'll help you guys do another one, and then it was like. I was like, you know what? I could start doing this again. And I literally only owned like 2 Xboxes then, and like 2 monitors. And then when I kept winning all the vanilla tournaments, every time I won, I was like, I'd go buy another Evo monitor. Now I have like 20 Evo monitors and stuff like that. So if I didn't win tournaments in vanilla, CEO would not exist, guaranteed. Because I would never have had the money to just go out and like one event be like, okay, I need all these systems. Let me buy them now. I couldn't have done that. It had to build up over a year and a half. And then the first CO just happened, mistake. Guy canceled his event, and nobody wanted to step up and replace it. And I had no intentions of doing a major in Florida. So I was like, you know what, screw it. The Smash community helped me find a venue because they were out of a place too. And it was like $3,000 to get, and I had to ask my dad to lend me the money. I was like, Dad, I need money to put this event together. He's like, yeah, sure. And I paid him back, made like $500, but it wasn't about that. And then just from there, I was like, you know what? I could do this every year, and I can be just as big as I want it to be. And people support the event and grow. It's going to get better. And now we're here. So the first year, 4 states were represented. It was like Alabama, Georgia, one guy from New York, and Florida. Now there are 14 countries represented in 32 states, last I counted. So it's like, yeah, it grew bigger than I thought, and I'm excited for it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I was just gonna ask if you honestly thought it would grow this big in such a, I mean, short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the second year we had Tokido and Gamerbee, and then third year I finally got Daigo. Each year I set a goal. The first year was just put on a fun event, bring people together.
Hmm.
And then the second year was get an international player. We got two. Then the third year is like, fuck it, I want Daigo, damn it. And Daigo came out, and he didn't win, and that gave some great matches. And then the next year was just keep improving the event, and uh, now it's all come together.
That's great.
That
Yeah,
is,
that's a great story about how, I mean, you can start with something as small as, even like your local scene or like your Rambats, whatever it might be, grabbing in, the Smash guys and, seeing where it can go, you know?
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
I tell a lot of people it's all about the local community. If I did not have such a great Florida community, CO would not be growing. So you can't rely on people to come from long distances. And fortunately, just over time, we built up such a great group. And for the first 2 years, all we had was like the Marvel 2 remake and Street Fighter 4. And when I stopped hosting tournaments in my college days, it was from like 2004 to 2008, where I didn't host a single thing. I was playing DDR and versus system card game, and focusing on my life.
mhm.
And we had Com Warrior David Richardson. I think he lives in California still now. He was running stuff. They were called Arcade Renaissance. So for that 4 year period, he was doing everything. And then when he stopped, that's when Street Fighter 4 right around then came out, and that's pretty much where I just took back over and just kept going. But yeah, it's if the local events never happened, CO would not happen. So it always starts with you.
So let's talk about your local community. Let's say Orlando specifically. Um, is it a very big, or is it close knit, or is people scattered? Or let's talk about that.
A lot of people live like maybe 30 minutes away from each other and stuff. I'll be honest, the first 2 years we had everyone just playing Street Fighter 4 because that's all there was.
Hmm.
And then when Marvel 3 came out, it was between those two games. And then the reflux of every single freaking fighting game on Earth came back out. And then now everyone's divided. A lot of people are coming back to Ultra, but we have people all over the place. We have a few, dedicated KI dive kick fans, and we have actually a really good KOF scene in Orlando. It's not big, but there's like 10 guys at any one time will get together and play.
Right.
Soul Calibur's been really weak, unfortunately. Tekken is kind of spread out all over Florida, and from top to bottom, it takes 8 hours to get from Florida, but everyone that really plays these games is within a 3.5 4 hour drive.
Not bad.
But now Ultra's out, everyone's kind of going back to playing that. Yeah, I mean it's been scattered though. But once all those other games came out, like Blaze Blue, then Persona, or before Persona, like Mortal Kombat 9 and whatever else was out in like the last 3 years, since 3 years ago, it's spread everyone out, and now everyone's just playing whatever they want, which is what they should be doing. So, but it's kind of just spread out the numbers for all the games.
Is there anything that you're particularly excited about that you're going to be doing this tournament from any of the other ones, or anything like you said that whole I don't want to call it like the artist alley, but I mean you're going to have people there that are going to be doing what custom art and things like that, and I mean that's going to be something new for you guys, right?
Yeah, because I mean, last year we had 1,000 spectators. So
Yeah.
we had a lot of locals. I had parents coming with their kids that had just heard about the event.
Hmm.
So I try, first and foremost, I focus on the tournament. That's my first goal, is to have a good, well-run, fair tournament. And then second is getting as many people to come and watch it and learn about the FGC as possible. So like with this year, I have that. I have about 20 arcade machines from a company called Free Play Florida. They're bringing them all out in exchange. They have an event in November I'm going to help them run. So a lot of stuff is just helping promote, and a lot of events kind of go through me now. I almost feel like the godfather of Florida events now. And just because that's how you promote, man. There's a lot of people that love these games, but they don't want to compete. But if you give them something to do besides just play the games, they'll have a good time.
Oh yeah.
So we have that. I'm bringing back the Fighter Mania exhibition, and rather than have like one-on-one matches, I have a Royal Rumble where it's going to be 30 entrants, where two go in, and then once one person leaves, the countdown goes, and the next person comes in, and you won't know the order, but it's all top players, and we're going to throw in a few freebies in there to make it funny. So, I like to do ideas like that, just stuff people haven't done before. And yeah,
That's awesome.
so the
Yeah, it
artist
sounds like
alley.
fun.
Yep.
I mean, I can't wait. I got my ticket back in April. I'm flying down. Bobby's gonna be getting in a car with some buddies. They're driving down. I mean,
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. You,
It's just, it reminds me, CEO always reminds me of the kickoff of summertime, the kickoff for the summer season of gaming, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I do miss when Evo was like 6 weeks away. But I think it's kind of worked out. A lot of people from Japan come and they stay the whole
Yeah.
time, stuff like that. So, but I mean, if it was like a week apart, it'd be really tough. But again, I'm not trying to steal people away from going to Evo. It's more for Florida. But now I guess the word's out that CEOs is a good. If you have to choose either event, you're gonna have a great time at.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and I go to Evo every year still. I've gone 5 out of the last 6 years. So, which is to me kind of my vacation. We were talking about that earlier, Katie. It's like for FGC people, you don't get real vacations anymore. It's always
That's right.
an event. So I go to Evo. Like this year, I told my brother because I work with family. I'm like, I'm going on Tuesday night because I want Wednesday to do absolutely nothing and just have a night to myself.
Yeah.
Uh, a day to myself. So I'm excited. And usually, unfortunately, I don't stay at the Evo hotel because my dad gets me a free hotel because he plays poker. But this year I'm staying at the hotel, which will be good because you'll be closer to everyone. And I
Oh,
hated that
yeah. It's always
miserable.
worth it. I mean, man, it's the best to stay in the venue, most
Yeah.
definitely.
So, but with CEO, I try to make it entertaining, and the venue I have it's out of this world. I'm actually meeting with them tomorrow to talk for next year and get more space because we're already outgrowing this year. It's such a great place. That's what makes me excited because I want people to come and be like, man, that was worth my money. So that's why I try to get all my sponsors to throw in free stuff. Like last year, I must have thrown out like 50 shirts and prizes. So I like to, if anyone's ever seen the video where I throw a bag up into the ceiling of the ballroom and it got stuck there. Like
Oh,
three months later, the hotel calls me like, "Is this yours?" So I like to do stuff like that.
now I'm hearing at the end of the day when the ballroom closes, isn't there some type of a 24-hour pool and a 24-hour hot tub? And I'm
Yeah.
hearing all about this. Everybody's like, Kate,
I like
there's
to
all
call
these
it the
swimming
sausage
pools and
fest of
everything. I'm like,
Earth.
oh,
No,
Lord.
which, actually, no, it's actually a mixed crowd. I'm not gonna lie. Everyone has a good time until it gets shut down usually. But the 24-hour pool is actually in the middle of all the hotel rooms, and
Okay.
we booked a lot this year, so we're covering pretty good ground. Um, in perspective, though, CO only genuinely fills up 50% of the hotel. That's how big it is.
Wow.
But yeah, no, at night people go hang out in their rooms, and it's nice because you're not in a huge hall with like 10 other rooms to right next door that you can make noise and get kicked out or anything.
That's what I
So,
was thinking. Yeah. So technically, I mean, within reason, you can pretty much yell and scream as much as you want. Like,
within reason, yeah. I mean, the
that's not
hotel
so
last year
bad.
did have some issues, but that's usually what happens at every event.
Mhm.
I think Evo's really the only event where you're in Vegas and they just expect that stuff. So you're pretty safe to do whatever over there. Um, but yeah, no. So the hotel is great because you just walk right outside. You have like 50 restaurants, and I mean, there's places open till 2, and then you have a 24-hour McDonald's right across the street, the world's largest, and and Popeyes is usually open till like 11. But I think last year they ran out of chicken at like 8 p.m. one day.
Oh,
I,
jeez.
I shit you not. That reminds me, I gotta call and be like, "Hey guys, make sure you got some chicken next week." So
Let's talk about
yeah.
the theme for CEO. Now, the past couple of years, you've used like the wrestling theme. You have trophies as like trophies. You have belts as the trophies, for first place prizes. Now, where does that come from? Did you really grow up with wrestling, or is it like the FGCs, is perceived to be like a sort of a wrestling type thing, or?
I mean, it honestly kind of flowed together. I have been a wrestling fan all my life. My dad and brothers, we used to watch it all the time and have people over for what should we call it? Damn it, for pay-per-views and such. So I grew up with it. After the Attitude Era, like 2002, I honestly barely watched wrestling from like 2002 all the way until like 2009, 2010. It's kind of gotten better lately, but it's nothing like the Attitude Era.
Right.
And that's why I love WWE Network, man. I just watch old stuff all the time because it never fails to entertain. But it kind of just worked out, man. I realized that a lot of us players are from the NWO era. So when that NWO CEO shirt came out, people were like, "Oh my God, this is genius!" I'm like, obviously, I'm ripping off another idea, but it worked, And I kind of stuck with. So the first year, what was it? It was the third year of CEO that I got a wrestling ring,
Mm-hmm.
and we did it, but it was miserable. It was so bouncy, and somehow Marlon Pie still pulled off his combos in that thing. But so a lot of people complain like this ring's too bouncy and people around it. So I was like, all right, let me check out a boxing ring because it's made of wood underneath, and we got the boxing ring, and not a single complaint. It's a little bit bigger than the wrestling ring, so it takes up a little bit too much space, but it works out, and then just the theme just fits well together. I'll keep doing it as long as people keep enjoying it. Because I remember Alex Valle was telling me he would go up. He came last year and he had a great time. And he went up to people like, "What about CEO makes you come out to this?" And like majority of them were like, "It's the ring, man. It's the setup. It's so hype."
That's
I'm
cool.
like, "Well, okay, keep that." And I have Jared, my right hand man. He goes around and asks people like, "Hey, if there's anything you can do to make CEO better, what would you do?" And some of them just don't have an answer, which is like phenomenal here. And he tells me this after. He doesn't want my ego to get stroked during the event. Because I always ask straight up, guys, if you have a complaint, tell me. I
Right.
can't make things better unless I know what's wrong. And
Yeah.
I always want to make sure you can't please everyone at the end of the day, but I just like to please as many people as possible. So it just, the ring just works out. And then 2 years ago, the King of Chinatown guys, Calvin, they got me a belt, which was just for Street Fighter at the time, which Justin won. That was the year Daigo came, and belts are expensive, man. They can run between $300 to $400.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not cheap, and
Well, you got to figure they're also custom engraved.
yeah. So this year, I mean, I've been looking for years. Last year I did trophies for a majority of games, no belts, and then this year I just found a guy. And I emailed him like, hey, if I needed like 12, 15 belts, could you, do anything for me? And when he found out what it was for, he just went nuts. He's like, oh my God, I love video games. He like sent me a picture of his controller and a Marvel copy. It's a family guy. He doesn't go to tournaments or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him like what I needed to do. And he's like, well, give me the design and I can let you know. And Rick made the design and he knocked it out of the park. And the guy saw, he's like, oh my God, dude, I have like 10 employees, but I'm going to do these myself. Like, and he gave me a really good deal. And fortunately, One Frame Link sponsors the event, and I used a majority of that sponsorship to get those belts. So if it wasn't for One Frame Link, those belts probably would not exist. Otherwise,
cool.
I would lose a lot of money for CO just to do belts, and you don't want to go that much. But I think CO's success is my whoring ability of promoting, just to go around like the second CO. I had like 100 shirts printed, and we like stormed final round, everyone wearing a CEO shirt, and that's kind of how the word got out the first year. And then I do shirts, and I try to make the shirts just as catchy as possible, and it just works, man. And I go to as many other events as I can. I can't as much anymore because now working with Iron Galaxy, I have to go to business events or for
Right.
work. But it was travel, man. I just promoted a lot, and I was always friendly to people and told them about the event. And if anybody has questions, I answer it as fast as I can because that's what I do in my day job. And it just worked out, and just the theme sticks now, man. Everyone thinks of everyone's like, get an octagon. I'm like, think about the camera angles. It'll be horrible. And I trust me, I thought of everything, like a real Hell in a Cell, like just so many
Oh
things.
my lord.
Whenever someone gives me a suggestion, like, man, I thought of that 5 years ago. So I just can't do it.
Let me give the stream a bit of a. This is a picture that you posted of all the belts that you're gonna give for prizes, or not prizes, but tournament winners at CEO, and they just look so well made. Like it's an expertly done job. I mean, again, like you said, belts don't come cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs to proambelts.com. That's the guy who made them for me.
What was that proambelts.com?
I forgot my password to log in. I can't type in the chat, and it's saved on my other computer. What you call it? Yeah. So proambelts.com. So all of them have One Frame Link. You might notice one with a different logo if you look hard enough, because there's a couple belts that aren't for tournaments, but you'll see what they're for at the event. We might even have a raffle belt. So I can't wait for fuck it. I have a raffle belt. I can't wait to see how many people spend for a belt. It's gonna be freaking hilarious.
Screw it, you heard it here at
That's
Media Burn,
awesome.
FGC, raffle belts. So get your asses down to CEO. Speaking of getting your asses down to CEO, registration ends this Sunday.
Yes.
So you might want to pre-register. Go to ceogaming.org or .com. Yeah, .org.
And you
ceogaming.org.
have to do it on a desktop. Is it still on the desktop?
Well, no, there's a link at the top where you can do it on a phone.
Okay.
For some reason, the registration form doesn't fully appear when you're on your phone, but if you click that link, it'll take you to it. So I don't know why that happened. But yeah, so I mean, signups have been coming in ever since we started the show. So
And
it's
signups are going to be ending at the end
yeah,
of the week.
we have on-site registration, but we cut it off 6 p.m. sharp, or at least a half hour before the other games, because we'll have the brackets made and we just throw
Right.
you in there. But if something caps, you're SOL.
Now that's the thing. I mean, who would want to fly or drive all the way to a large major, okay? Then you're going to have to wait in line with quite possibly 300 other guys. You're going to be waiting in line, biting your nails, thinking, oh my God, am I going to make it before they say all the brackets are full, or we're not, we're just not taking any more people, and the only thing you can do is get a spectator pass. At least try to, get your reservation, your spot early, just
Yep.
get it online, get it over with. I have been procrastinating it this whole time. I have to sign up for Ultra and tickets.
That's the
So
FGC
I gotta,
syndrome, man.
I
And,
know.
and to be fair, everyone does it. I mean, a lot of people, they just don't know if they can come because of work or family, so
That's
they got to
true.
wait till last second. But the ones that wait until on site, yeah, Lord can't help them.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it was
And
funny
then you
too,
think
like
you're waiting in line. All your friends are in the ballroom. They're having a great time. They're at the pool.
ex-
They're having a great time. And here you are standing in line for like an hour. Who wants to
no,
do that?
exactly right. We do check in pretty damn fast too.
Good.
Yeah, no, people just, hey, whatever. They got to pay more money. That's fine with me. And the reason we charge more at the event is because it really slows things down. It's gonna screw up an event by a couple
Yeah.
hours if 1,000 people come and register at the same day. So I would like to get rid of it. Like Evo does. But it's just CO's not at that level yet. You still want to give people a chance, or some people might not even hear about the event until like the day before. I do a really good job of reaching out to local newspapers and promoting. I did radio actually last year. I ended up spending $1,000, but it ended up being worth it. There must have been like at least 200 spectators that had no idea of the event until they heard that radio ad. It was actually a pretty good ad too. I gotta find it's somewhere on my computer. So there's
Nice.
so many ways to promote, man. But the reason I do the belts, the reason I do the shirts, it's all about branding and promoting. And not enough events do that. Like they'll host their event and that's it. You got to make
Right.
people think about your shit all day long. Uh, so
Yeah,
yeah.
think about saving up for their flight to fly to CEO next year.
Yep.
You
And
know.
it was funny too because I actually so when you do a convention, there's a few things like you have to get liability insurance, which I had to pay $600 for, which basically insures the event for about $2 million. So if something were to happen, everyone's safe, or I'm safe at least. So usually nothing does happen, knock on wood. And so I went to the fire marshal because you have to show them the layout of the room, make sure none of the tables are blocking doors. And when I went in there to turn in the check to pay for it, the woman's like, "Oh, isn't this the gaming event at the end of the month?" I'm like, "Yeah, I organize it." She's like, "My grandson goes to that every year." And then she went on for like 5 minutes. He has a nighttime job, so he tells me last year they hung out till like 5 in the morning, and he was so happy, and it just made my day. I ended up having like a 5-10 minute conversation with her about it.
That's
Um,
cool.
and I'll also tell you that also made the approval process much easier.
Right.
So could you imagine? She'd be like, "No, this isn't going to work. My grandson can't go anymore." Make friends everywhere you go, guys. You never know when it's going to serve you well. Don't burn bridges. Always be positive. I used to be a negative Nancy and pick on other events because I want everyone to enjoy spending money to travel to these events. And if they have a bad time and nobody's going to do anything about it, then you have to speak up for those voices that aren't usually heard. And I had that issue. I've done some bad things in the past, but hopefully people have forgiven me. I just want every event to succeed and be better. And, you got to try new stuff every year, guys. The FGC might not be here forever. Or, there might be so many events that everyone just split up. So do your best to make your event stand out in any way possible. And that's always been my goal as CEO.
Yeah, I mean, how do
That's
you
great.
feel that people are flying from not only across the country but around the world? How we even have Psychochronic in the chat, you know, from Canada driving. I mean, not driving, busing it
Oh
40
my God, man.
hours
I
to
think
your
he's
event.
leaving like on two. He's leaving like in a
Uh,
day or two.
And he's the only guy I do. I give him a free registration every year. I tell him, you do that 40-hour ride, man. That is worth. I will give you that $60. So, but you can actually go to tinyurl.com/CO2014. A lot of events don't like to show the registrations until like the week of. I think it helps me. And there's two reasons why. One, the first couple months, be like, man, nobody's signing up because everyone waits the last freaking second.
Right.
But I've had people thank me. They're like, man, I didn't know there was other players in my city. Now that I have their name, I can look them up. Nothing stalkerish, I hope. But uh, uh, 1 second. I'm getting a Twitter direct message from my Japanese correspondent helping the players. He's asking, is it on Xbox? Because they still don't know. Anyways, so, people are like, thank you. I didn't know there's other people in my town. So that's really cool. But, so we have Australia has a couple people just for Injustice. That's amazing. Brazil has a player from Brazil. We got Canada, Chile. Florida has the most people, obviously. Let me scroll down. Florida's got like 400 people. God damn it. All right. Then, every other state known to man. Japan, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people from Japan coming this year. We have a guy from Ireland that came last year and loved it. Malaysia, awesome guy. He actually comes here, stays, and then goes to Evo. Very cool guy. He's actually an MMA fighter out there. Netherlands, a guy came last year. He's coming back again. Pakistan, Peru, Sweden. Got my first Swedish player this year. And then United Kingdom. So it's an amazing feeling. That it is not cheap to fly all the way over here. And the fact that you're a video game tournament attracting people like that from all over the world is, I don't care what anybody says, that's freaking badass. So I like to, show it off. And I get a lot of parents that come like, man, I've never seen this. Like CJ Truth's dad. CJ Truth, man, was teaching that kid Street Fighter was probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Because his dad's taking good care of me with what he does. He works for Universal Studios, but I don't want to get into that.
Right. He's a really nice guy.
He is.
Yeah.
And I remember he first came up
really
to me. He's
nice.
like, my son's really interested. Could you, play some games with him? And CJ, the first lesson I ever told CJ, I would yell at him. I'd be like, stop jumping. Because he would jump at me, and I would just crouching fierce with Balrog. So when you see him play, he barely jumps because every time he's about to jump, he thinks of me punching him or something. Not physically punch, you know what I mean? Anyways, so, and then the kids started coming, and for like 2 years, he couldn't beat anybody. Now, like, he keeps winning all the local tournaments. So, now we have Knuckle Do. Like, it's so funny. All the young kids are beating all the old guys, and I can't play as much as I used to. I loved being able to get top 3 every single tournament, but I think those days are over, and we have a few players that beat me now that I have trouble with. I got bopped by an Elena, god damn her, at a recent local tournament. So
she's pretty good. Her hitbox is all over the place.
I know, and I actually used her in Third Strike. So I'll figure her out. I'm still debating if I want to enter CO or not. I love entering just to be a gatekeeper and have fun, but it's getting so big that I think this might be the year where I just step back, at least for my own event, because I'm never going to retire. I love playing too much and competing, and that's why I go to Evo. I made like top 128 in Street Fighter last year,
right?
Only losing to like, who did I lose to? Arturo Sanchez eliminated me, but who sent me to lose? I can't remember who sent me to losers, but it was somebody good. I think not Air. God damn, it was an international player. Anyways, so I do well for myself when I go to Evo every year. And yeah, I love to compete, but my event's kind of getting tough to do. I might be in the Royal Rumble though.
Oh, really?
So I might come in there, hit somebody over the head, or throw him over the top rope and just play his match.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So what I'm curious about is, I heard there was a little bit of a rumor going around. Is Popeyes going to be one of the sponsors for CEO? I saw a picture of it like a couple of months ago, and I thought to myself, my God.
Yeah. By the way, this will be the
Popeye
deciding
stand
factor. This will be the deciding factor if I go or not.
That'd be?
So.
Man.
Well,
everybody would have like greasy arcade sticks. Like,
oh my God, it's
it'd
horrible.
be all over
Dude,
the place.
have you seen the recap video from last year where the biggest pop off is everybody in the front row with boxes of Popeyes in their hands? So I tried. I really did. I went across and like, hey, I have a big event. Would you like to do a discount card? Everyone with a badge can use it. And
yeah.
I don't even think they spoke English, so I won't get into that. But yeah, no. So no Popeye sponsorship. I have legitimate sponsors though. Yeah. And I have so many sponsors, I can't even remember them all off the top of my head. You got to go to ceogaming.org and look on the bottom where I have the first ever FGC rotating ticker. It's freaking beautiful, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I had to pay a guy. It took him 8 hours to do that by hand. Like, Look at that. It just scrolls. It's just so beautiful.
Ultimasic from the stream chat wants to know how many streams will be going on during CEO.
We have 4 streams. We have people are the Capcom Pro Tour has been doing great. Capcom's doing an amazing job. So they have all of Ultra, just Ultra on their channel, Capcom Fighters, which is only Saturday, and then they end Sunday. So it won't be really interfering with other finals on Sunday because they're the main event. And I mean, to be fair, they have the most turnouts, so they were going to be the last game anyways. So it's not about being bought out or anything. They're literally the biggest game, so they deserve it. And then I have VG Bootcamp, the biggest Smash streamer. He's coming down from Maryland. He'll be doing his own Smash stream the whole weekend, and then the finals will be on CEO Sunday. And then we have Funky P. He came out last year for Injustice. I'm going to use him for more roles, and he did a great job, so I loved brought him back. And then JT does CEO Gaming. So I heard Spooky's coming down to help with the Capcom side, so that's exciting.
Oh, that's nice.
He hasn't been here in a couple years. He ran the first 2-3 years and did a phenomenal job building me up, and then he just got too busy, and he just couldn't do work with me anymore. It was sad. Anyways, so yeah, it'll be nice to see him down there. So yeah, we have 4 streams. I'm not a fan of having 1,000 streams. I'm really not, because I think it just convolutes things. But you have so many games featured, you gotta do what's best. And then I know one guy wants to stream KI pools with a 4G card, so if it works, it works. People will go, "Hey, I want to stream. Can you give me an internet connection?" I'm like, "Can you give me $750?" Because that's what it costs. Because I don't like 4G. I don't like, not being prepared. So I actually pay the hotel specifically to give me like all their internet dedicated to the ballroom.
Oh, okay.
So that's why CEO's always had a perfect stream quality. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, it's not cheap. So when people are like, "Hey, I'll can I stream?" Like, yeah. They're like, "I don't want to use Wi-Fi. Can you give me your hardware?" I'm like, "Give me money." They're like, "Never mind." So.
Alex, you kind of cut out there, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're good.
I was coughing. Sorry, I'm choking up. I'm still looking at the sponsor tab on my website. Sorry, what was I saying? Anyways, yeah, so 4 streams. The schedule is pretty much already up on ceogaming.org/schedule.
Yep.
It's on the top, but it'll be easier to read. I have Rick designing that right now.
Nice.
And yeah, so I try to fit everything as much as possible. I'm only doing 5 finals on Sunday in the ring. I might have to put other stuff in the cage, but I just want to, Evo does such a great job of, I would love people to still play casuals, so we'll keep like 1 row in the very back for casuals, because people last year were playing till we closed. Evo, I love it where just everyone's watching as a family, basically. I would like to mimic that one day, but for now, I kind of do both because people still need the practice for Evo. Like, I love being right before Evo because people come really just to practice for Evo, and it's a great feeling. I supposedly Daigo was supposed to come back this year and practice because he wanted a big tournament before Evo, but I haven't heard anything since. Usually I don't find that out till like 2 weeks before, so now's that time. So yeah, I try to make people have fun, and then I have a lot of finals on Sunday for the smaller tournament, even Friday, and so a lot of the streams, they won't be pools except the Smash one. They're going to be like nonstop finals, so you're going to be seeing the best play nonstop. So, yep.
I think that's definitely one of the best things with the majors. You have so many people, so many friends flying in for one cause. When you're done with your bracket, or whenever you have to seriously play, when they leave up all of the monitors and everything, you can have casuals with all your friends. I think that's such a great bonding experience, especially on top of the fact that a lot of us can't carry our systems and monitors onto planes,
Right, exactly.
Or we don't want to drive them all in or ship them all in, or whatever, whatever the case may be. Whenever they leave these systems on for us to play, I think that's definitely one of my most favorite things at a tournament.
Yep, and that's what we try to do. So fortunately, I have a big enough room to split that all up. And yeah, people love their casuals. Fortunately, I have, like I said, I bring like 20 of my own setups. And this year, so I have a lot of vendor booths this year. So we're gonna have the Gamester gear. They make all the headphones that Sherry represents and Chris G's a part of. I'm gonna set up with them. I am basically molding sponsors together. So Elgato Game Capture is giving me game capture cards to give out. So what I'm doing is, at her station, she's gonna watch my laptop. with a setup for Marvel or whatever games that people want to play on it, and she'll be recording those matches for offline uploading later.
Huh.
So it'll be like the Elgato recording station at the Gamester Gear booth. So I like to do things like that. Just little ideas to get sponsor branding out there. And with the budget I have this year, fortunately, I can get real backdrops for the event. I don't have to do little banners, and I really like the CO backdrop. You guys are gonna have to wait until you see the stream backdrop. It's either gonna piss off a lot of people or make them laugh.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. Anyways,
someone actually DM'd me with a question for you. Will there be a cosplay contest at CEO?
yes, there's on Saturday with a $500 out of Jebailey's pocket prize. That reminds me, thank you. I have to put up a cosplay contest thing on my website.
You're welcome.
Anyways, I'm adding new tabs to it. So I'm working on tonight adding like a food tab because people are just going to go food, and then there's the artist alley tab rather than having to look through the blog and all that stuff. So I like to make things as clear as possible. But yeah, so a $500 contest. I have a girl who has like 15,000 cosplay followers promoting it. So I expect a lot of people to come Saturday because it's only Saturday. So you can get in with just a day pass if you just want to do the contest. And we have Viscount judging it. So that's the best part. Anyways, so.
That's cool.
Yep. So yeah, cosplay contest because people cosplay every year. Evo has a bunch of cosplayers. I've cosplayed at Evo and CEO as Black Adam. And little do most people know, last year when I came out, literally 5 minutes after coming out in my Black Adam costume, lightning struck the building and turned off the power for 5 minutes.
Oh,
I shit you not. So this year we have a sponsor, CyberPower, with UPS backup. So when the power goes out, we keep playing. So that, just because of that costume. That reminds me, I got to get Rick to make that picture. Just have me like calling out a bolt of lightning, like this won't stop you. Something like that. So we like to do funny stuff, man. Me and Rick, I think we're geniuses. We always come up with these ideas. Like 2 a.m, I'll just come up with some idea. Like, hey, I want to do this, and he won't get it till like 7 a.m. the next morning. He's like, let's do it, and then we just do it. So we have a lot of cool stuff. I'm gonna have online contests for people attending. So that's all gonna come out next week when registration's over. Because like I said, now it's just a waiting game. Hurry up and register, you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Again, CEOgaming.org. Please register. I mean, come on, guys. Look. I'm looking at the numbers right now. Of course, Ultra is at the highest, but these Marvel guys are at 139, while Melee and Project M both surpassed it, 171 and 167 respectively.
Isn't that insane, man?
That's really insane.
That's actually already the biggest Smash tournament in Florida's history, and it's great, man. Because what happened was I hosted Smash like 3 years ago, and there's a huge miscommunication. One guy bailed on the Smash community for hosting it. I won't say names. And so it wasn't a disaster, but one guy like accidentally threw out the medal I gave him or whatever. And I was like, all right, screw it. I'm not going to host Smash. And then Evo has the drive and just the Smash community comes in full force. And I still wasn't interested in hosting it because I only like to host games that I care about Melee. That's bullshit. I love Melee. I even entered it at Evo and my own event. But, I don't host games unless I genuinely know the community and I know they'll support and come out, and I'm not going to host a game just to bring in numbers. So I didn't host Smash because of the numbers. What happened was a guy came to one of my bar fights for Street Fighter. He's like, hey, I run the Smash events, maybe we could work together. And I personally, that's what the last guy said. And then he showed me some pictures like, I'll give you a shot. His name's Alex Raging Cherry. He's actually working an MLG internship right now in New York, but he's going to fly back down because he lives here. Nice. And he has a huge helping. He goes to the UCF campus, the college here, and they have a huge gaming nights group, and they're gonna run Smash for me. And I got them their own ballroom, and I had 2 local events. They had one had 97, the next one had 103, just for Smash. Those were the biggest tournaments in Florida since like 2006 when MLG was here. So I have an entire community stepped up, and they backed it up, and now they have their own ballroom at my event. So I'm excited for them.
Have you gotten a chance to try out the new Super Smash Brothers, or even see any gameplay of that during E3?
Yeah, no, I played it. I spent about a good half hour playing it before the event opened on the last day, and I don't want to comment. I'm hoping it's a beta because it looks gorgeous, so gorgeous.
It does.
The animations are amazing, but it feels like Brawl again to me. It does not feel like Melee, which it shouldn't. It should be its own game, but a lot of the community they're not happy with it. So hopefully there's changes because obviously it's still at least 5-6 months away.
Oh,
But
definitely.
Yeah.
if it stays as is, it's gonna sell like crazy. People are gonna have fun with it, but Melee is gonna stay strong forever. So we'll see what happens because Nintendo has the potential to do really well and bring the Wii U back up. I own a Wii U because people come over and we jump into the party games because they're so easy. But
Yeah.
the Wii U needs help, and Mario Kart helps it out, and the next Smash is gonna sell well. But man, if if they put out that GameCube adapter, which was the smartest thing ever. I actually called it like a month before. I'm like, man, Nintendo needs to put out a 4-player multi-tap that plugs into the Wii U for GameCube controllers, and bam, it comes out. And I had no idea, but I was like, that's a smart move, which means they're listening. And they did great with that E3 thing. I watched some of it, actually. I didn't go live, but I watched it. And so I'm thinking, man, if they have a GameCube controller, then the Wii U's got to get GameCube, like, virtual library titles. If they get Melee on that system, the death of CRTs can finally happen because now you have an HDMI Melee, and you can use the same system for both. Oh God, and they will sell 1 million freaking Wii U's overnight, guaranteed. If they get Melee on that crap, it will sell like you wouldn't believe, guaranteed. So, well, I'll buy 5 right away. I'm not even lying.
Right.
Or I'll go win them at Dave and Buster's, whichever comes first.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Yeah. You
I got to
win
go
all
there
those
Wednesday. I
tickets
got to
at
pick
Dave
up
and
some extra
Buster's.
Xboxes. So.
How do you win all those tickets at Dave and Buster's?
No, I'm not telling you my secret. I gotta
Oh
show
my
you. No,
God.
I'm just consistent. That's all, and I waste money. Like for example, it's not a secret. It's just consistency. Once you find out the tricks. When I needed Xboxes for 2 years ago, was it when Raptor Capture was the shit? Or I think it was last year. There's one game, Raptor Capture. You just had to be consistent. Well, I kept winning so damn much that they lowered the ticket payout, and it ruined it. So I stopped going. But for a good 2 months. I was winning Xbox 360s that would cost you $200 to buy. It would cost me $80 worth of playing at Dave and Buster's to
Oh
win.
my God.
So,
That's crazy.
yep, there's a method to my madness. That's all I'm gonna say. So, it all worked out.
Now,
Yes.
Cool.
earlier we were talking about you being at E3, courtesy of Iron Galaxy. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So we went there. Killer Instinct. We're working on season 2, which has been great feedback. And we had TJ Combo, the first character we're announcing from season 2. So we showed it off, man. And I gotta say, there's a lot of casual fans for KI, and they're some of the coolest people I ever met at an event. Like, just came, kept playing. They couldn't beat me or Adam or Keats at all. It was pretty bad. But they got free shirts and stuff, and really cool. And I got to meet the Microsoft people that work on the game, or that represented, and they were awesome, man. Like, the people working on this game are really awesome people. So it's really great working with them, and now I'm starting to put some input into the game, which is a great feeling. So I look forward to it. I just, more people need to buy Xbox Ones to appreciate it and play it, because it's got a low turnout, but it's not the game. If it was on Xbox 360, I guarantee you it would have at least 100 entrants easily.
Oh yeah.
We all agree
So I was
on that.
there, represent that. We had a little bit of dive kick. I was great because a Japanese player came. So Killer Instinct had 8 setups in the Microsoft area, like front and center, and then in the corner there was like 4 aisles of indie games. Like there's Guacamelee next to us, and a new game
Love
called
that game.
Chariot, and we had Dive Kick because it's going to be on Xbox One. And a Japanese player came over. He's like, "Oh, I hate to do the racial accent, but literally, He's like, oh, this game is very fun. And we played like 5 games. He's like, thank you, so much fun. And walked away. And that made my week, actually. It was pretty cool. And a couple couples came over to play it, but it was kind of slow. Everyone was there for every other game in Killer Instinct. And, Dive Kick is still fun, but it's hit its stride now. It's been out a little while. But, at least it'll be on next-gen systems, which don't have much, so it'll get another spark in it.
Are you guys ever going to release those custom 2-button controllers for Dive Kick, man?
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
there's not a big enough market. I think that's the truth to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just make one, man. At the end of the day, if you really want one, you can just make one. But yeah, no, nothing to an official capacity.
Of course.
But it's nice that you can use a stick, a controller, a DDR pad already and stuff. Yeah.
But let's go back to Killer Instinct. Now,
Yep.
can we have the scoop on the next character?
Ah.
Nope. Next question.
You see, I try to ask Keats the same thing when we had him on this show for the UFGT special. Nope, couldn't get anything out of him.
Yeah. Nope. And it's funny too. Keats will tell you he doesn't trust me. So when when Jebailey was first going to be in Dive Kick, I told people. I never posted it anywhere, but I told people in person. That somehow got to him. He's like, "You son of a bitch! You leaked your own character. How could you know?" So he hasn't trusted me since. I swear, the day I signed that Iron Galaxy contract, not a single peep has come out of my mouth, like about anything. And even Keats is like, "Dude, how are you staying quiet? I don't get it." I'm like, "Dude, you can trust me now. It's different." So yeah, that's pretty. He still never trusts me, but Dave Lang, when he hired, he was like, "I trust you, man. You're fine." So it's great though knowing what goes into a game, and because I've been a gamer all my life, I would say I'm one of the biggest consumers there really is. I buy everything. I own every system. I support companies as much as I can and now that I'm on the other side, seeing a fighting game character, like seeing TJ combo each move getting made, and he's only 50% done. And just to see how much progress has been made from that exact week it happened at E3 to, fast forward a week later, just so much happens every day. And it's just such a great feeling to see how these games are made. So it's exciting, man. And it's really cool overall. So I'm glad to be their community manager. It's part-time, but it's almost full-time because I'm literally on the phone answering stuff as much as I can. Hopefully Dave never watches this because he always yells at me. He's like, "There's a question on answer. What are you doing?" He's like, "You have one job to do, Jebailey." Yeah, but I have all this stuff. But once CEO's over and then Evo have my fun, it's focus on Killer Instinct and get as much community feedback as possible. And the feedback's been great, man. Like a lot of fighting games, like Capcom games, people will bitch about every little thing. No joke about every little move. Killer Instinct, it's mostly cosmetic. Like, I don't like how he looks. Change it, Or, we're a new company working on a game that was created by another company. So the transition period was great because Double Helix helped us, but now it's like it's in our hands. You guys got to trust us. We know what we're doing. We worked on other fighting games, and it's great because every time I go into the Iron Galaxy office, like people just enjoy what they're working on, and I check up every day on like what they're doing. And my job is to manage the community, get feedback, stuff like that. But I'm genuinely interested in how this gets made, and I'm learning everything that goes into making a game. So it's great because I like to learn. So it works out. But Killer Instinct Season 2, now that Xbox One dropped in price, hopefully it'll take off.
Right.
But I'll support as much as I can because we have a great local community that plays it. And I remember when I went to SCR and I entered the tournament, I got bopped. But everyone there was genuine fun. They were enjoying the game, paying attention to it. So, yeah. Like, the one confusing thing to me is Injustice at CEO. So, last year had 203 entrants for Injustice. That's the second largest behind Evo. UFGT had in like 188 or something like that. So, they're a little bit below us. Now I'm only at like 61. It's like, where the hell did everyone go? So great game. I played it until I went to Evo and played it on PlayStation 3, and that's the truth. Like it lagged so bad when I threw batarangs and I did an interactable, and it killed my experience. I have not played the game since because of just as a tournament player, I'm just like, man, I am so bitter about what just happened. I don't want to play this ever again. And now everyone's hosting on Xbox as they rightfully should. So, yeah,
it's great.
I can't wait till a company picks up Primal Rage. Remakes Primal Rage.
Mr. Community Manager, wink. You could.
I don't have any control, but I've been trying for CVS2 every day. So yeah, that's not gonna. Primal Rage was okay. I mean, I just like doing the pee on you fatality, but that was it.
Oh my god!
Which one was it? It was I think it was the Triceratops guy.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of them did some pretty crazy
one of the
things.
apes.
I think it was one of the apes that did that.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was the ape.
Yeah.
That was a great game. I love that game.
Damn it, where's my cosplay article so I can link it? Huh.
Where is your cosplay
right.
article so I can link it in the chat?
Yeah, no, hold on. Here, you can test it for me. Official cosplay contest. Save. Yeah, so I do all the website stuff myself, too. So. Yeah, so go to ceogaming.org, and then on the front, there should now be a cosplay button. Yay, science.
Where would it be?
On top, all the little buttons.
Yes, there we go.
So, yeah.
Okay, guys.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to be linking this in the chat. Yeah. $500 goes to the winner of the cosplay contest, going on next Saturday only at CEO. So, I mean, you guys had pretty much a big success with last year's cosplay contest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. No, last year we didn't do one. The year before we did.
Was it the year before? Okay.
Yeah, but now we'll be on par to have it really well done, because we're gonna have like a break in between games on Saturday to where it just flows in. And so we're talking about the Capcom buyout
Right.
news. And somebody goes, start the Teespring campaign. I'm like, dude, we should make a I now own Capcom shirt or something and sell it. Uh, it would be so good.
What do you think
Anyways,
about that? Everybody's all like, "Oh, let's buy shares in Capcom and
I
overtake it as a
know. I mean,
community."
is
And
this
it's
going to be
like,
publicly traded? What is the deal
uh,
with this? I can't really find out any
let me explain it.
information.
I'll explain it in layman's terms, because I actually talked to somebody at work today about it.
mhm.
So it doesn't mean anything bad for Capcom. Business is as usual. It's just now, if anyone wants to buy them out for a large amount of money, that option is there for Capcom to think it over. But Capcom's still doing fine. It's nothing to worry about. But I mean, somebody had a good point on, I forgot where I read it, but maybe it was on Reddit. What you call it, about like when Midway got bought out by Warner Brothers and now they're NetherRealm. Look how that turned out.
Mhm.
They're doing phenomenal. So imagine a big company like Warner Brothers or even Disney buying Capcom. I think it could only mean good things. So yeah, but no, Capcom's fine. It just comes now. They don't have to, like, basically they no longer cock block anybody from offering them money. So if somebody goes, hey, we want to buy you, Capcom takes it back to their board of directors and they discuss it. And if it's worth selling the company, they do it. But I think they're okay for now.
Okay.
Would you ever
Nothing to
buy
worry
Capcom,
about. We're
Alex?
safe. Say what?
Would you ever buy Capcom?
If I had the money, sure, why not? I would have free reign, man, and then I would make us bankrupt. So yeah, I'd put me in every Capcom game ever made. That would be my first goal.
Ah, man.
I wish they would put some stock out that could be just publicly owned, you know. And then we could all, I mean, even if it was expensive, we could all try to get, however much together, buy a percentage or whatever the heck it could be. And then, like, we, the people, could have a part of Capcom, I mean, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, but let the politics handle themselves.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
So
Well, it's getting to be near 10:30. Gonna be cutting it here pretty soon. But Alex, do
could
you
have been
want
done a half hour ago, but nobody. I'm sorry, what?
What?
I'm having a great time.
Technical
This is my last
difficulties,
break.
people. We had some
Yeah,
technical
terribly sorry
see a
about
little
the
bit better.
multiple false starts. But Alex, if you have any final words to say, man.
No, man, I like your show. You have a great duo, you guys. You should definitely keep it up. I used to do a show once, but we won't talk about that. The Jebailey show. Anyways, keep it up. But yeah, Bobby, I hope to see you at CEO, man. Come down and we'll get Popeyes together. Just don't touch my biscuits.
Okay, all right, fine. I won't touch the
All right.
biscuits, man.
Because that's all I eat, actually. Just give me the freaking biscuits, man. I don't care.
You know what?
Okay.
Done deal.
You should come down, man. I promise you the time of your life. Like, you come to CEO once, guaranteed you're going to come every year. And that's all I ever hear from people. So, just come have fun. You know how to follow me, CEO Jebailey, all that stuff. People already know where I'm at. And yeah, hit me up anytime you have questions. Just wait till after CEO if it's not about CEO.
Well, of
Because
course.
now I'm all CEO 24/7. And yeah, we'll take out Katie, man. Well, we're going to have a good time. Are you going to Evo, Katie?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm just
You chose
focusing
me?
on CEO. I mean, to be
Aw.
honest, yeah, I've been practicing and
Aw.
trying to get Ultra under control, and
Who are
it's
you
a
using
lot,
in Ultra?
but yeah.
Who do you use in Ultra?
Oh, Vega.
Hey, he's much better now.
Yeah,
He's got
he
a cross
is.
up with light
Yeah,
kick.
he
I've used
is.
that shit.
He's got some good things going. I've learned a couple different tricks, so we'll see.
Yeah. No, so yeah, just thanks guys for having me on, and keep doing it. You guys have a nice little duo. So just
Thanks a
remember,
lot. This
you
is
gotta
the thing-
whore yourself.
This is the thing I like about Jebailey. I mean, he's way interpersonal, way social. From sun up to sundown. I mean, even though people think, oh, he comes off as a bit of a jerk promoting his, event all the time, but that's kind of what you have to do.
It's true, man.
I met him when when he hosted Youmacon, was it 2011?
2012 actually, yeah. I had a
2012.
great time, man. I wish I couldn't go last year because I was too busy with other
Right.
stuff, but I had a generally good time. So I hope it comes back.
Yeah, just I hope you can do it again this year, man. Have they
Thank you.
contacted you about anything?
No, you know, last year they were supposed to sponsor my event to help promote theirs, but
Right.
nothing came of it. But good people. I have no complaints
Very.
whatsoever
You know,
about
shout
that
outs to
event.
Chris Khan too. You know, all the organizers at the was it the Youmacon Battle Opera
Yeah.
in
I just don't
2012.
feel safe around corn, man. Those guys are dangerous, let me tell you.
Shots
They're
fired.
good guys.
Well, again, Mr. CEO Jebailey, thank you for being on this show with us.
You're welcome, Bobby. Thank
Again,
you.
this is Me to Burn. If you're watching this via YouTube, which you should be in about 2 days, the archives will be up. Please register for CEO.
Yes.
Registration ends this Sunday at
This
11:59 p.m.
And nobody wants to wait in line at
Nope.
CEO and pay
Oh,
extra
it's so
money.
funny. I'll get messages on Tuesday like, hey, is it too late to register? I'm like, damn right it is.
And to send us off, I'm going to be showing the CEO 2014 official trailer, so you guys enjoy.
Ooh, I love
and
this thing. I want to watch it.
It's going to be right here. If I can open this.
God damn it. More technical difficulties?
Nope. It's good this time.
Playing DDR. He does them all for me. So I always pick the songs though, and then tell him what I need in it, and then he just works his magic.
You know, you guys should make a shirt that says something about, I own Capcom or something
Yeah.
like that. I know I'd buy one. Most definitely. Like, I think it'd be real cute. If you guys did a little like play on words or something, I think it'd really work out.
Well, I have friends at Capcom. I don't want to get in trouble.
No.
I'm kidding.
Well, there you go,
Somebody
guys.
tweeted
There you go. I'm completely dead right now, by the way. But that was a trailer. So again, pre-register and please try your best to come. I mean, this is honestly, in my opinion, one of the most well-run events in the FGC here. This guy Jebailey does such a great job in taking care of everybody that comes. So you'll definitely have a good time. So, with that being said, for CEO Jebailey, Miss Katie Cujo, and myself, Katie, you better win the cosplay contest, by the way. You better. I'm going to be signing up.
Judge, Katie, what are you doing later?
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
What?
Okay, that's about time to cut it off. Good night.